शुक्लांबरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। योगेन चित्तस्य पदेन वाचां मलं शरीरस्य च वैद्यकेन योपाकरोत्तं प्रवरं मुनीनां पतञ्जलिं प्राञ्जलिरानतोऽस्मि। Om. Dear friends, welcome to the study of the Yoga Sutras. We were seeing this 27th Sutra. 27th Sutra is Tasya Saptadha Pranta Bhumi Prajna. The earlier sutra was Viveka Khyatihi, Viveka Khyati Aviplava Anopaya. Aviplava Viveka Khyatihi. So that is a Viveka Khyati, that knowledge which is Aviplava, totally undisturbed, absolutely undeviating knowledge is the Hanopaya. That is the means for eradication of grief. Hana. Hanam is eradication. Hanam of what? Eradication of grief. Because all schools of philosophy, their goal is how to eradicate, how to remove this grief, human suffering, how to remove this human suffering. So suffering, physically, it cannot be removed. So you have to readjust your mental makeup. So when the mental makeup is readjusted, then we understand it. Once we understand it, then we tend to ignore it. So that is how it is. Viveka Khyati, that is developing Vairagya. So Viveka Khyati Raviplava Hanopaya, that we read completely. And the next sutra also, we just came to the title, that is Tasya Saptadha Pranta Bhumi Prajna. So that person's knowledge, Tasya is not referring to Hanopaya. It doesn't connect to the earlier sutra. Tasya is switching over to the person who has attained that highest level of prajna, highest level of understanding. For that person who has attained that higher level of understanding, there are seven aspects, there are seven ways in which his awareness is, in which he thinks rather. There are seven aspects of his awareness. What are they? Let us see. I will now share the text from where we stopped in the last class. So Tadyatha, we stopped. Actually, it is the beginning, in the very beginning. The sutra is like this. Tasya saptadha pranta bhumi prajna. Pranta bhumi prajna is one word in the sense that pranta bhumi, that is the highest level. That is bhumi means actually a border. Pranta bhumi is actually the borderland. So pranta bhumi prajna is, that is the highest level of prajna, highest level of understanding. Then that is saptadha. That is saptadha is sevenfold, or seven aspects are there in that level of understanding. That highest stage of understanding is sevenfold. Tasya idi pratyudita khyate pratyamnaya. This line we read, but I repeat. Tasya iti pratyudita khyate pratyamnaya. Who is this tasya of that person? Who is that person? Pratyudita khyatihi is the person. That is one whose knowledge has, one who is awakened. Pratyudita. Udita means awakened. A person who is awakened. The knowledge of the person who is awakened. That is what is pratyudita khyati. Pratyudita khyatehe is the Shashti Tatpurusha. A person whose knowledge is awakened. So that is pratyamnaya. Pratyamnaya means paramarsha, the reference. The reference is this word tasya refers to a person whose knowledge is awakened. Saptadha iti ashuddhyavarana malapagamat chittasya pratyayantara anutpade sati sapta prakara iva prajna vivekino bhavati. Sapta prakara prajna vivekinaha bhavati. For that wise person, seven types of understanding, seven things he sees. What is that? Ashuddhya, before that, Saptadha iti, Ashuddhi avarana mala apagamat. That malam has gone away. Malam is the dirt. Dirt of mind has gone away. What is that dirt? Ashuddhi avarana. That ashuddhi, that impurity had enclosed him till the time, and that enclosure has been removed. Malapagamat chittasya pratyayantara anutpade. For this mind, pratyayantara anutpada. Pratyaya is any other feeling like raga, dvesha and all these things. All these raga, dvesha feelings, they are all gone. Pratyayantara anutpade sati. Sapta prakara eva prajna vivekina bhavati. So for this viveki, sapta prakara prajna bhavati. That is his seven types of understanding. Not seven types, seven aspects are there in that understanding. What are they? From here we have to read. Tadyatha. It is like this. What? Parignatam jneyam. That is one. That is what has to be known, has been known. whatever has to be known is known. So even in the Vedanta, we say the same thing. Parignatam Jnayam, that is, once we know, Yasminnu Bhagavo Vijñāte, Kasminnu Bhagavo Vijñāte, Sarvamidam Vijñātam Bhavati. One student asks a teacher, "Oh, my dear sir, you please tell me, we hear that there is something by knowing which you know everything. We know everything. So what is that? What is that? By knowing one, we know everything. So here also, by knowing one, by knowing the Sattva Purusha Anyata Khyati, that is the knowledge of differentiation, difference between the Prakriti and Purusha, that I am that pure Prakriti. In Vedanta, he realizes he is, I am that pure Brahman. So like this, I am this pure Purusha. So this Parignatam Jnayam, yes, what has to be, sorry, here not Jnayam, Parignatam Heyam. Heyam is that which has to be avoided. That is grief. That is grief. That has to be, that is no, that is known. Grief is heyam dukkhamanagatam, we saw in that sutra. Then nasya punaha parignyayam asti. And then again, it need not be, again, there is no question of grief coming to me again. Nasya punaha parignyayam asti. Then kshina heya hetavaha. Heya hetavaha means the causes, the cause for that heya hetu. What is the cause? Sanyoga heya hetu. Drugdrishya shaktyoho sanyoga heya hetu. That is the earlier sutra, and one of the earlier sutras we read. That is heya hetu, the cause for that grief or suffering is contact. Sattva, this Purusha and Prakriti, contact is the cause for suffering. Then punaha yete, then na punaha yetesham kshetaviyam asti. Again, there is no need. They have all been eradicated. There is no need again. There is no need again to destroy, because they stand destroyed. They are no longer there. Then sakshat krutam nirodha samadhina hanam. Sakshat krutam nirodha samadhina. What is this nirodha samadhi? In the beginning, that is in the first adhyaya, we saw what is called samprajñāta samadhi and asamprajñāta samadhi. That asamprajñāta samadhi is also called the highest level of samadhi, and that is the nirodha samadhi. So by that nirodha samadhi, hanam has been sakshat krutam. The nature of hanam, the nature of grief has been understood, very well realized. That removal of grief has totally, absolutely taken place. Then bhavitaha viveka khyati rupo hanopayah. Bhavitaha, bhavana actually means not idea. Bhavana means realization. Bhavana, in fact, to be. Bhu dhatu, what is the meaning of bhu dhatu? To come into existence. Bhavana, realization. That bhavana, bhavitaha, viveka khyati rupaha hanopaya. That hanopaya, the means for eradication of that suffering is known. Hanopaya. And what is that? Viveka khyati. Viveka khyati is that knowledge. Then these four aspects, they do yesha chatushtayi karya vimuktihi. These four aspects, they describe freedom from all actions. Of course, there is a pathantaram. The pathantaram is that textual variation. What is that? Yesha chatushtayi karya space vimuktihi. Yesha chatushtayi karya space vimuktihi. There is one pathantaram. That also, it is also interpreted. Vimuktihi karya. Vimukti karya means these four things have been completed. Something like that they have explained. But karya vimukti seems to be more appropriate, because he is talking about what is called chitta vimukti. First he is talking about what is called karya vimukti, and then he is talking about chitta vimukti. Chitta vimuktistu trayi. That is the chitta vimukti. That is the freedom of mind. Earlier is freedom from actions. You see, karya vimukti, they describe the freedom from all types of actions. Tasya karyam na vidyate, Vedanta says, tasya karyam na vidyate, Gita says, once a person is realized, there is no such thing. Yeah, karya vimukti prajñāyah, this is the complete line. Sorry, in between I have put some English interjection. Yesha chatushtayi karya vimukti prajñāyah. Prajñāyah vimukti karya. That is the interpretation. Prajñāyah vimukti karya, if you take that version. Karya vimukti prajñāyah. That is for this prajña. These are the four aspects. That is the freedom from all actions. So that means a realized person, he may do an action, he may not do an action. Like in Gita also, a realized person, he may be doing some action, like King Janaka or King Rama or Lord Krishna himself, or like many other Rajarshis. But then there is no compulsion. There is no compulsion that a jnani has to do action. A jnani may do some action for loka sangraha, according to Gita. So similarly here also, a person who has realized, he will not die. A realized person will not definitely die immediately. So maybe he will have a longer life because he has no grief, no tension, nothing. He doesn't absolutely no mental ailments. So he is a very stable person mentally. So he or she. So anyway, these four aspects they describe the freedom from all actions. Tasya prajnaya. Then by one knowledge, all that has to be known is known. Yeah, this is also Kasminno Bhagavo Vijnate Sapamidam Vijnatam Bhavati, that is from that Mundakopanishad line. We can apply it here. Anvaya, we say, we can do that Anvaya here. Then Chitta Vimuktistu Trayi. Chitta Vimukti, freedom of mind. What is the type of freedom that mind enjoys? So that first of all, relating to Karya, relating to all types of activities, those four they have been told. Then what is the freedom of mind he feels? Charitadhikara buddhihi. That is buddhi, my intellect is something which is charitadhikara. Its purpose has been completed. Charita adhikara. Charita means it is over. Charitadhikara buddhihi. That is its purpose of achieving this bhoga and apavarga. Bhoga, okay, so long as we are in bhoga, it is not charitadhikara. So bhoga and also apavarga, if it achieves. Apavarga is achieving that knowledge, realization. So that is what is charitadhikaritvam. So charitadhikara buddhihi, that buddhi's purpose has been served. Gunaha girishikara tatachyuta iva gravanaha. He gives an example of huge boulders. Suppose you see, if you have seen hills, now and then huge boulders, they just roll down, like in that myth of Sisyphus. So that man keeps pushing it up. So like that, the boulders, they keep rolling down. So this gunaha, these three gunaha, they are just falling down, tumbling down. Not like Jack and Jill. Let us visualize a better person like Sisyphus. So that like those stones which are coming down, Giri Shikhara Tatachyuta iva, Giri Shikhara, that hilltop, Tata, that edge, Shyutaha iva. Shyutaha means fallen from that. Gravanaha, Grava is a huge boulder, not small stones, but huge stones. Gravanaha, Niravasthanaha, without any support. Avasthanam is support. Niravasthanaha, Swakarane pralayabhimukaha, Sahatena astam gachanti. Swakarane pralayabhimukaha. They are moving towards their own karana. Their own karana is Prakriti only. Prakriti is the source for these three gunas. Pralayabhimukaha, Sahatena astam gachanti. So Swakaranena saha astam gachanti. Along with the karana. Along with the karanam, along with the cause, they are getting resolved. They are getting resolved means a person, he may be interacting with the external world, but he interacts without any type of mental, the mind does not interfere. The mind, which means raga, dvesha and all these things, the mind does not interfere. He is interacting with the world like any sane person. But then without raga dvesha, without any type of prejudice or any type of any such presuppositions, all these things. So swakarane pralayabhimukhaha sahatena astam gachanti. Na chaisham pravilinanam punaha asti utpadaha prayojana bhavat iti. Na cha yesham pravilinanam. Once these things have been Pravilina means they are resolved. They are resolved back. All the gunas, they got resolved back into Prakriti. Once they are resolved into Prakriti, na punaha asti utpadaha. Their resurgence is not there. Their, what can we say, asti punaha utpadaha. Punarutpada means resurrection or not resurrection. Resurrection is a religious term. Okay, resurgence may be a better word. Their re-emanation or not reproduction, re-emanation, let us say. Punaha na asti utpadaha. Once they are resolved into the Prakriti and along with the Prakriti they are resolved, then there is no question of reappearing. Prayojana abhavat, because they have not, there is no prayojana, because a person has become gunatita. A person has gone beyond the gunas, like we see in the Gita. The Gita also, you see, in Gita we see terms like jnani. Gunatita, Sthita Prajna, almost all equivalent terms only. Sthita Prajna is again equivalent. Gunatita, Jnani, Brahma Jnani, Brahmavit. So here also a person who is a realized person. The only difference here is here these yogis they also accept the independent existence of Prakriti. Okay. नचेषां प्रविलीनानां पुनरस्तित्वादः प्रयोजनाभावात् इति एतस्याम् अवस्थायां गुणसम्बन्धातीतः person who has gone beyond the connection with the gunas gunasambandhat atitah a person who has gone beyond the connection with the gunas asyam avasthayam in this particular stage swarupamatra jyotihi amalaha kevali purusha iti these are all words which are also used for Brahma in Vedanta. Swarupamatra Jyotihi, that is, I am Atma, I am Swayam Jyotihi, we use that word, Swayam Jyotihi. That is, it is just alone, in the sense that it is there as pure Sat Chit and Ananda. It is there as pure Satyam Jnanam Anantam. So in that stage, where that Swarupam is pure awareness, ocean-like awareness, as usually Swamiji say. And Kevali, Amalaha. Amala is without any malam, without any dirt. What is that dirt? Sattva, Rajas, and Tama. Even Sattva Guna is a malam. Because Sattva Guna also can give us some sattvic arrogance. Oh, I am such a pious man. It can lead to hubris. That hubris is supposed to be, in fact, it is worse than various other sins. Even according to Christian theology, that 7 deadly sins. Hubris is supposed to be the deadliest of sins. So here also, if we see this Chandi Patha, the final demons are that hubris only, that hubris, that is Shumbha, Nishumba, and also Rakta Bija. These are the fellows who indicate that Sattva Guna. So Amalaha, Kevali, that is one alone. You can say Kevalaha also, Kevali, Purushaha iti. Then, Yetam Saptavidham Prantavumi Prajnam Anupashyan. You see here, Prantavumi Prajna. It is used as a single word in the commentary. Yetam Saptavidham Prantavumi Prajnam. That is the highest level. That is the highest border. That is what can we say? The pinnacle of wisdom. So, okay, Prantavumi Prajnam Anupashyan. Anupashyan means Pashyati is seeing only. It is not exactly seeing here, experiencing or experiencing. Etam saptavidham pranta bhumi prajnam anupashyan, experiencing this highest level of awareness. Then Purushaha, Kushala ityakhyayate, a person is called Kushala. He is now called a smart person. Kushala, Kushan lati iti Kushala, I told a couple of days ago. That is Kushala, that is the act of fetching those dabba leaves. It involves some skill, it demands some skill. So Kushala is a person who is a skilled person. So here the person is skilled in analysis of his own self. Kushala ityakhyayate pratiprasavepi chittasya. Even when the mind is getting resolved, Muktaha, Kushalaha ityeva bhavati, Gunati tatvad. Chitta has gone, Chitta has receded into Pralaya. It does not mean that he becomes brainless. Chittam, and a realized person, when we say that his Chittasya Muktihi abhavat, when we say that Chitta is also freed, it doesn't mean that he becomes totally brainless in total vacuum. Chittasya muktaha kushala ityeva bhavati. So he is still called adept because in all normal transactions he behaves in a normal way. So that is the point. Kushala ityeva bhavati, but gunatitatva, because he is gunatita. He has gone beyond the operation of the 3 gunas. Then next sutra is Siddha bhavati. Next sutra is Yoganganusthana Ashuddhi Kshaye. Yeah, Siddha bhavati viveka khyatihi hanopaya iti. Siddha bhavati vinay viveka khyatihi anopayaha iti. Now it is there is a discriminative knowledge which is attained. It is the means of avoidance of grief. Viveka khyatihi anopayaha. The anvaya here is viveka khyatihi anopayaha siddha bhavati. The sentence can be interpreted in 2 different ways also. It is very well established that viveka khyati is anopaya, we can say. That also we can say. The discriminative knowledge, once it is attained, it is the means of avoidance of grief. Viveka Khyati, which is the upaya, which is the means for avoidance of grief, it is something which is attained. And then nacha siddhihi antarena sadhanam iti ityetad arabhyate. And this siddhi does not take place without sadhanam. This siddhi, it is not a mere intellectual attainment. See, we have been talking about what is awareness, Purusha, what is the nature of Purusha, what is the nature of Prakriti, what are the gunas and what is their influence, etc. And that is actually an intellectual discussion. By this mere intellectual discussion, a person does not become realized. So that is what he says. Nacha siddhihi antarena sadhanam. Siddhi is that final attainment. Siddhi is that final viveka khyati. That viveka khyati remains only say half, or rather imperfect, without this sadhana, because the inner change or inner transformation is what is very, very essential in Vedanta and also in yoga. Not so much in Tarkashastra and those places. And of course, Mimamsa, there is no great inner change at all. If we see in Mimamsa, the pure action, karma, yajna, yaga, etc. Very meticulous observation, very meticulous performance of karma. So, but here in yoga and also in this Vedanta, the mind has to be totally neutralized. Mind has to be totally eradicated. That's a big exercise. So for that, there are so many steps. So after talking about what is the theoretical or intellectual discussion, now he is coming to the body-mind complex. Whatever has to be done with the mind has been done. Now we have to control the body-mind complex. For that body-mind complex, that is antarena sadhanam. Naja siddhihi antarena sadhanam. Antarena sadhanam means without sadhanam. Without sadhanam, na siddhihi bhavati. Ityetad arabhyate. So that is why this next sutra is being told. Yoganganushthanad ashuddhikshaye jnana deeptihi aviveka khyate. So this yoganganusthana is very essential for this ashuddhikshaya. Ashuddhikshaya. Ashuddhi is impurity. Ashuddhikshaya, that is eradication of impurity. Shaya means eradication, that is removal. Ashuddhikshaya, for that eradication of ashuddhi, for that impurity, that is yoganganushthanat. By practicing this yoga, yogangani. What are these yoga? Anga. Anga also means limb. Anga, angi. Anga, angi bhavam we say. Anga is limb. Angi is the person having limbs is angi. The person or entity having limbs is angi. And the limbs are angas. So here, yoganga anusthana, yoga has 8 limbs, he says. It is debated whether they are actually limbs or whether they are different stages. That is, stages means steps. Because one step after the other, once slowly, shanai, it goes on. Shanai, ruparamait. So this yoganga anusthana becomes very essential. I also told the example of that bird for which Viveka and Vairagya, there are 2 wings of a bird. What is that shloka from Viveka Chudamani? Vairagya bodhau purushasya pakshivat. The shloka starts like that. Vairagya and bodha. Vairagya is one thing. In fact, Vairagya has been told first. Bodha, that is knowledge, has been told later. Because if we see the entire pattern, the pranalika of Vedanta, a person who has to go to a Vedanta class, he has to be a sadhana chatushtaya sampanna. Of course, nowadays we are not bothered about it. We are telling everything to everyone. But then sadhana, in olden days, if you see Vedanta Sara, the text by, what is that gentleman? Vedanta Sara, in a way, that Sadananda. So Adhikari, who is Adhikari? Adhikari does not mean a Brahmana or anybody. Adhikari means an eligible person. What is that eligible person? A person who has attained that sadhana chatushtaya sampanna pramata vidhivad adhita veda vedangatvena. Some long line goes there. And then Samadhi, Shatka, all those things he has achieved. And high level of personal discipline is there. And without that high level of personal discipline, if a person becomes enlightened in this particular field, he may become an enlightened criminal also. Because a person thinks, oh yes, what is there? Everything is Atma. There is no killer. There is nobody who is killed. And then he will be doing all those things. So his ego is very much there. His ego or his mind have not gone away. His aham and mind, chitta and that whole chitta, including chitta, manobuddhi, ahankara, chitta, and all those things, they have not gone away. But then he is doing as he likes. That sort of thing should not arise. So that is the reason why our people were very careful to say that spiritual discipline is the first step. And only after the spiritual discipline, then the knowledge starts. So yoganganushthanat ashuddhikshaye jnanadiptihi vairagya bodhau purushasya pakshivat. First is vairagya and bodha. Both are very important for that pakshi to fly onto the rooftop called, what is that, prajnana, some prajnana saudham or some such thing he says. So like that jnana saudham. So yoganga anushthanat ashuddhikshaye, when those impurities are destroyed, jnana deeptihi, like you keep on polishing something and then it becomes the shining comes out. So you use gradually that dirt goes away and that shine comes out. Jnana deeptihi aviveka khyate, until that discriminative knowledge is attained. Is used in two levels. That is the outer limit, the up to a particular point, and also including that particular point. Limit exclusive and also limit inclusive. That is what in grammar they say. Ang maryada abhividhyo. Ang maryada. Maryada is that limit. So the word Panini, in Panini, that example is A Pataliputram Varshaha or something like that. A Pataliputram. At the time of Panini, Pataliputra is a great place, Patna. So, A Pataliputram, it rained up to Pataliputram. It means it has not covered Pataliputram. So, A Pataliputram also means it covered Pataliputram also, depending on the context. But here, Ang Maryada Vividhyo in both cases. So, here A Viveka Khyatehi is until the discriminative knowledge is fully attained. So, this Jnana Dipti goes on and it achieves also A Viveka Khyatehi. So when the impurity of mind is destroyed by practicing the limbs of yoga, knowledge shines until the discriminative knowledge is attained. Yogangani ashtau. Yogangani. Yogasya angani ashtau. The 8 are the limbs of that yoga. Abhidhaishyamanani. So which are going to be told. Abhidhaishyamanani. That is future tense. Tesham anushthanat पंचपर्वणो विपर्ययस्य अशुद्धिरूपस्य क्षयः नाशः. तेषाम् अनुष्ठानात् पंचपर्वणः विपर्ययस्य अशुद्धिरूपस्य. All these things are adjectives for that ashuddhi. Avidya, smita, raga, dvesha, pancha abhiniveshaः, pancha kleshaः. So for that, Tesham Anushtanat, by observing those 8 limbs, by following or by implementing those limbs, Panchaparvanaha Viparyayasya. Of that Viparyaya is that Mithyajnana. Mithyajnanam is Avidya, Smita, Raga, Dvesha, those things. Panchaparvanaha, 5 kleshas, Pancha kleshaha. Parva is 5 segments, let us say. Parvam is a segment. Panchaparvanaha Viparyayasya. Panchaparvanaha also is Shashti Ekvachanam. Viparyayasya. Ashuddhi Rupasya, which is of the nature of impurity. Of that impurity, which is Viparyaya, which is having for that 5 segments, that gets destroyed. Shayaha Nashaha. Ashuddhi Rupasya Viparyayasya Nashaha. Then Tat Kshaye Samyajnanasya Abhivyakti. Once that goes away, then the Samyajnana Abhivyakti. Abhivyakti means it manifests. Samyajnana automatically manifests once that ignorance goes. Like the Tyagaraja song, very famous song, Terati Yagarada, Loni Terati Yagarada. So that veil, that inner veil, that veil, that avarana bhanga takes place. So Samyag Jnanasya Abhivyakti. Yatha yatha cha sadhanani anushtiyante. As and how, yatha yatha. As and how sadhanani anushtiyante, those sadhana you are getting progress, we are achieving progress in those sadhanas. Tatha, accordingly, as and how we observe these sadhanas. Accordingly, tanutvam ashuddhihi apadyate. Ashuddhihi tanutvam apadyate. This ashuddhi, that impurity, tanutvam apadyate. Tanutvam is thinness. Tanu and thin, cognate words only. Tanu. Tanu means thin. Tanutvam, they get thinner and thinner. That Ashuddhi becomes thinner and thinner till it gets totally eradicated. Tanutvam apadyate. Yatha yatha cha kshiyate. As and how it declines, as and how it declines, tatha tatha. Then accordingly, Shayakramanurodhini jnanasyapi deeptihi vivardhate. Shayakramanurodhini. Like you visualize dawn, suppose in the early in the morning, there is, prior to that there is darkness, and gradually as the sun rises, slowly and slowly and slowly, as sun arises, this darkness disappears. Exactly similar. Kshayakramanurodhini jnanasyapi deeptihi vivardhate. Kshayakrama anurodhini. As and how this declines, as and how this ignorance declines, knowledge, the light of knowledge, jnanasyapi deeptihi. Deepti means light, kanti. Jnanasya deeptihi. The knowledge, the light of knowledge, it grows, it keeps on increasing. As and how this darkness goes, as and how the darkness decreases, the light increases. Exactly the same. Kshayakramanurodhini jnanasyapi deeptihi vivardhate, it grows. Sa khalvesha vivruddhihi prakarsam anubhavati sa vivruddhihi. Sa khalu esha vivruddhihi. Sa esha. This particular, this vivruddhi means that growth. That growth, prakarsam anubhavati, it attains some high status. Prakarsha means achieve the highest level. Prakarsam anubhavati, it attains a very high level. Aviveka khyate, until that viveka khyati is attained, until one realizes completely that separate knowledge of Purusha and Prakriti. Then guna Purusha Swarupa Vijnanat, Viveka Khyate, and also guna Purusha Swarupa Vijnanat. Till this knowledge of Vijnana, till this Vijnana of Gunas and Purusha, their Swarupa is known. Till the knowledge of the Swarupa of Guna and Purusha. Guna, Purusha, Swarupa, Vijnanat. That is, Vijnanam is knowledge. When we have to give, translate long phrases in Sanskrit, we go from the last word to the first word. We go back. So similarly, Vijnana, knowledge of the Swarupa of Prakriti, Guna and Purusha. So till we attain that knowledge shines, that light of knowledge shines. Then Yoganganushthanam Ashuddhehe Viyoga Karanam. So what type of karanam is this? Yoganganushthanam is Ashuddhehe Viyoga Karanam. That impurity, it eradicates that impurity. Or avidya, straight away you call it avidya, ignorance, what we call nescience or ignorance. Yoganganushthanam Ashuddhehe Viyoga Karanam. Of course, this alone is not the karanam. Along with the knowledge also. Ashuddhehe Viyoga Karanam. This is the Viyoga Karanam. That is the Karanam for separating. He is going to explain different types of Karanas, though it is not very, very needed here. He has somehow brought in what type of Karanas are there, usually in Shastra text. How many Karanas are told? So he is going to tell later, shortly. Yoganganushthanam Ashuddhehe Viyoga Karanam. This practice of yoga is the cause of separation of that impurity. Viyogasya Karana. How? Yatha Parashuhu Chedyasya Vastunaha Yatha Parashuhu Viyoga Karanam Bhavati. That is Chedyam Vastu. Suppose something is there is some tree which has developed some unnecessary, maybe you have to cut off a particular thing. So that becomes Chedyam. Chedyam means what deserves to be cut off. Chedya is something what deserves to be cut off, what needs to be cut off. Parashuhu Chedyasya Viyoga Karanam. So when we take an axe and then hit, that becomes the karanam for separation of that thing which needs to be separated, which needs to be cut off. So here what needs to be cut off? Ashuddhi is something which needs to be cut off. So parashu, just like parashu, like an axe. In fact, knowledge is compared to axe also. Even in what is that 15th adhyaya of Gita, we talk about that vruksha. That Ashwatha Vruksha. What is that Vruksha? Vrashyate iti Vruksha. Vrashyate, that which can be destroyed, that which can be cut off. Like with an axe, you visualize, you take an axe and then just cut it off. So like that, Parashuhu, Chedyasya. So that is that Vruksha, Ashwatha Vruksha. Then Viveka Khyatestu Prapti Karanam. So this Yoganga Anusthana, from the point of view of Ashuddhi, it is the Viyoga Karanam. With respect to Ashuddhi, with respect to impurity, it is the Viyoga Karanam. And with respect to Viveka Khyati, it is the Prapti Karanam. With reference to Viveka Khyati, that is with reference to knowledge, it is the Prapti Karanam. It is the cause for attaining that. Yatha Dharmaha Sukhasya. Yatha Dharmaha Sukhasya. Dharma becomes the cause for Sukha. So long as I am plain, honesty is the best policy, as they say. So long as I am very, very plain, I don't have any sort of any agenda or any raga, dvesha, etc. in my mind. Then, if I don't have any sort of agenda in my mind, I am happy. So, yatha dharmaha sukhasya, na anyatha karanam. It is not a karanam in any other manner. So now the question is being raised, how many karanas are there? How many types of karanas are there? Katicha etani karanani shastre vihita bhavanti. In Shastras, usually Shastra texts, they do analyze all things our people have analyzed. Every small thing also, our people analyze. So Shastre Kati Karanani Darshitani, that is how many are told? Navaiva Ityaha, 9 have been told. Tadyatha, they are like Utpatti Sthitya Bhivyakti Vikara Pratyayaptayaha Viyoganyatva Dhrutayaha Karanam Navadha Smrutam. Karanam Navadha Smrutam. Now, Karanam means a cause. Cause. Navadha. Navadha means 9 ways. It functions in 9 ways. It operates in 9 ways. Karanam Navadha Smrutam. Smrutam means it is said. Not that it is in some smruti or anything. We don't know where from this shloka is. But then he says there are 9 types, 9 ways in which a cause can be there. What is that? One is Utpatti Karanam. Utpatti Sthitya Bhivyakti Vikara Pratyayaptayaha. So many things are told in this one line. Utpatti is origination, origin. Sthiti means being, staying in existence, to stay, stha. Then Abhivyakti is manifesting. Then Vikara, Abhivyakti, Vikara is change. I can, what is it? Where has it gone? Somewhere there. Somewhere. This cursor was there somewhere else. Yeah. Utpatti, Sthiti, Abhivyakti, Vikara, Pratyaya, Aptaya. I can't put a hyphen there. Vikara is undergoing change. Pratyaya is experiencing, gaining knowledge, seeing something. Pratyaya of an object. Aptaya, apti means gaining. Apti is gaining. Then Viyoga means separation. Anyatva means seeing something as something else. Viyoga is something different. Anyatva is different. Viyoga is getting separated from something. Anyatva is, that is seeing something as something else. Dhrutayaha, Karanam Navadha Smrutam. This Karanam is said to operate in 9 ways. What are they? The cause is said to function in 9 ways. That is cause for origination, cause for maybe sthiti. Sthiti can be called preservation or sustenance. Then manifestation, change, knowing, attaining, separation, differentiation, and supporting. Dhruti means dharana. Dhruti is dharana, that is supporting. Karanam Navadha Smrutam. Then what is it? Tatra Utpatti Karanam Manaha Bhavati Vijnanasya. Mind becomes the Karanam Vijnanasya. For with respect to Vijnana. Vijnanasya Manaha Utpatti Karanam Bhavati. With respect to Vijnana, with respect to knowledge, mind becomes the Utpatti Karanam. Because the mind, it is being fed by the 5 sense organs. These 5 sense organs, they get sense impressions and then they submit to the mind. And the mind is like a sort of processing place where it processes that information and then knows things. So Mano Bhavati Vijnanasya. Then Sthiti Karanam Manasaha. Purusharthata. For this mind, Purusharthata becomes the Sthiti Karanam. For this mind, Sthiti Karanam. What is this Sthiti Karanam? Now he is merely explaining what is Karana. Nothing to do with, he is not consistently talking about mind, etc. He is explaining about what are the Karanas. For example, Manaha is the Utpatti Karanam for Vijnana. Then Purusharthata. is the sthiti karanam. Purusharthata is attaining this bhoga and apavarga. Bhoga and apavarga, that is the purusharthas. We have been talking about in Yoga Shastra, we were talking about bhoga and apavarga, these two things. Or we can also take for purusharthas also. There is nothing wrong. So that purusharthata is the sthiti karanam for manas. That is the cause for the existence of the manas. Because dharma, artha, kama, moksha, they are all achieved by the mind only. Then sharirasya iva aharaha. For the mind, for the sharira, ahara is the sthiti karanam. For the body, ahara is the sthiti karanam. Then abhivyakti karanam yatha rupasya alokaha tatha rupajnanam. Yatha rupasya alokaha. Aloka means light. Yatha rupasya alokaha. Without light we cannot see a thing. And light is the abhivyakti karanam. That is the karanam for manifestation of any object. Abhivyakti for anything. Abhivyakti, manifestation of anything. This light is needed. Rupasya. And similarly, Rupajnanam or Rupajnanam also. Yeah, Rupajnanam is the Karanam, Abhivyakti Karanam. Then Vikara Karanam Manasaha Vishayantaram. Manasaha Vikarika, this Vishayantaram means, okay, I am pursuing my studies. Meanwhile, something comes up and then somebody comes in and then he discusses something. So that Vishayantaram has entered my mind. And this Vishayantaram causes some vikara, causes some change in my mind. So all my mood is gone. Suppose I'm in a happy, pleasant mood reading some Bhagavatam or something like that. That mood is gone when somebody says, okay, or when my wife says, okay, there is a problem in the house, that somewhere there is some leak or somewhere some repair has to be done. So the mind immediately, it attains some vikara. So Vishayantaram. So entry of another Vishaya becomes Vikara Karana for the mind. Then Yatha Agnihi Pakasya, just like Agni for, is it Pakasya or Pakyasya? Because I read one text. Yatha Agnihi Pakyasya, it says, maybe Pakasya. Paka is something which is already cooked. So I think it should be Pakya only. I will correct it because my text says Pakyasya, Agnihi Pakyasya, Prapti Karanam Yoganganushthanam Viveka Khyate. Okay. Then Yatha Agnihi Pakyasya, for something which has to be cooked, Agni becomes the Karana, Vikara Karana. So when we are cooking, some Vikara is taking place. What is this? Rice, granule, not granules, that rice, uncooked rice becomes cooked rice. So that is the vikara which has taken place in that. Then pratyaya karanam dhumajnanam ajnanasya. What is this pratyaya karanam? Karanam for knowing something. For knowing something, agnijnanasya dhumajnanam pratyaya karanam. For knowing in order to know that Agni exists somewhere, dhumajnanam, the knowledge of dhuma becomes the pratyaya karanam. Knowledge of smoke becomes the pratyaya karanam in order to know that there is Agni somewhere. So that is the pratyaya karanam. Then prapti karanam yoganga anushtanam viveka khyate. For viveka khyati, in order, prapti karanam, what is the prapti karanam for viveka khyati? Prapti karanam is the cause of attaining, the cause for attaining it. Prapti means attaining. The cause for attaining that viveka khyati is yoganga anushtanam. You have to attain this yogangas. Then viyoga karanam tadeva ashuddhehe. So tadeva yoganga anushtanam. The same yoganga anushtanam, the same observation or practice of these 8 limbs of yoga is the karanam for getting rid, in order to get rid of viyoga. Viyoga is getting rid of. Viyoga is something divorcing. Viyoga is separation. So for attaining, for ashuddhi separation, in order to get rid of that ashuddhi, in order to get rid of ignorance, then this yoganga anushtanam also becomes the karanam. Yoganga anushtanam. Viyoga karanam tadeva ashuddhe. For ashuddhi, viyoga karanam is this yoganga anushtanam. So this way he is explaining Utpatti Karanam, what is Utpatti Karanam, what is Sthiti Karanam, what is Abhivyakti Karanam, then again Vikara Karanam, Pratyaya Karanam, Prapti Karanam, then Viyoga Karanam. 1 or 2 more are there. Anyatva Karanam, Yatha Suvarnasya Suvarnakaraha. Anyatvam. So though there is only one object, it is seen as so many things. Only one object is seen as so many things. Anyatva karanam. There is also karanam for that. Suppose there is a gold, what we call gold, some biscuit or gold ingot. Also we say gold ingot. There is a word called ingot. Gold ingot is a lump of gold, let us say, or gold biscuits, let us say, or gold. What can we say? Brick for richer people who smuggle from Dubai and other places. Gold bricks also. So, what is this? Anyatva karanam yatha suvarnasya suvarnakara. So, this suvarnakara, this goldsmith, he brings about a change. The same gold is looking at so many other things. Same gold is looking at 100 varieties of ornaments. Evam, he gives one example. Evam ekasya stri pratyayasya avidya mudhatve karanam. Avidya mudhatve means avidya mudhatve karanam. Ekasya stri pratyayasya. So when you see this, you are seeing the same woman. When you are seeing the same woman, avidya mudhatve. The woman may be a very, very good looking woman. But a foolish person, mudhatve, avidya, mudhatve, avidya or ignorance is the cause for foolishness. Because of ignorance, he is not able to see how beautiful that lady is, because he has not studied. Maybe he lacks knowledge, he lacks appreciation of beauty, he doesn't know the standards of beauty. So in fact, that is the example given here also. That is why I am saying anyatva karanam. Yeah, ekasya sri pratyayasya. Where is that Sanskrit commentary I have not taken. Anyway, that is the meaning given. That is, the person doesn't know how beautiful the woman is. So that is why he is very foolishly, he is unaware of her beauty. So that is mudhatve karanam, avidya. Then dveshaha duhkatve karanam. Suppose you just don't like her, the lady is quarreling or something like that. So you have some element of hatred or element of dislike. So then duhkatve karanam, that becomes the cause for dukkha. Then ragaha sukhatve. Suppose you love her and then proper love and affection is there. So sukhatve karanam. That is the karanam for sukhatva. Tattvajnanam madhyasya. This is very interesting. Madhyasya. Madhyasya means you are neither having dukkha or sukha, neither mudha. You are purely a philosopher. Madhyasya. He says vairagya. Madhyasya is in order to get vairagya, what is the karanam? Tattvajnanam. And for that Tattvajnanam, he quotes one line from, what is this, Tattva Visharati. Tvang mamsa medo asti majja samuha strikayah. So this woman's body is made of tvak. Tvak is skin, mamsa, flesh, meda. Meda is, what we call kovu, that is fat, meda. Asti is bone, majja is marrow. All these things put together is this woman. So when a philosopher looks at a woman, he sees the woman as a sort of a combination of all these things: some skin, some bones, and some flesh, and all these things, the blood, all excretions and whatnot. So mamsa medo asti majja samuha strikayah sthana bijadibhi ashuchihi. Sthana bijadibhi, in all aspects, that is the ashuchi. Of course, the same thing applies to this gentleman also. Evam ekasya stri pratyayasya vidya mudhatve ragah tattvajnanam madhyasya. So in order to get vairagya, tattvajnanam becomes the karana. So anyatva karana. Because of tattvajnanam, you are seeing that woman in a different way. So the same woman is seen in different ways by different people because of that different understanding. So one person is perceived in different ways, and seeing things as not as they are due to raga and dvesha. Even we do the same thing. We see things not as they are, because when we look at a thing, you can borrow those words from Vedanta Panchadashi, where he talks about Ishvara Srushti and Jiva Srushti. Ishvara Srushti is totally neutral. And Jiva Srushti, with the same woman, you are having one person is having raga, another person is having dvesha, one person calls her mother, another person calls her wife, another person calls her daughter. So like that, the Ishvara Srushti is different. Jiva Srushti is something which we have created in our own social encounters. So Madhyastya, the word Madhyastya refers to Vairagya. Then Dhruti Karanam, one more last one is there. Dhruti Karanam Shariram Indriyanam. Dhruti means supporting. Dhruti. Karanam Shariram, Indriyanam, for the Indriyas, Sharira, the body is the Dhruti Karanam, Karanam for supporting. And similarly, Tanisha Tasya, Tanisha, Indriyani, Tani Indriyani, Tasya, Tasya means Sharirasya. Tani Indriyani, Sharirasya, Dhruti Karanam. Those Indriyas, they become the Dhruti Karanam, cause for support of that body. Because when the Indriyas are not there, the body is dead. So that's all. So similarly, Mahabhutani Shariranam. So all these 5 elements, they become the Dhruti Karanam for this all the bodies, not only human body, but for all the bodies. Tanisha Parasparam Sarvesham Tairyagyona Manusha Daivatanisha Paraspararthavaditve Paraspara Arthatvat Ityevam Navakaranani. So here you see, Tanisha, Parasparam. Parasparam means mutually. Mutually they come, they are all Sarvesham, Tairyagyona, Manusha, Daivatanisha. All the bodies, Tairyagyona. What is that Tairyagyona? We know the word called Tiryagyoni. Yoni means place of origin. Tiryagyoni means all these jantus which whose backbone is parallel to the ground. They are called Tiryak jantus. One is only upright person who our human backbone is upright, so we are human people. We stand upright. Whereas Tiryak Jantu is something which is whose backbone is parallel to the ground and walking on 4 legs. That is Tiryak Jantu. And naturally, Tiryak Jantu is, we call it inferior. So Tairyak Jyona, so that inferior, Manusha, human, Daivata is something which is superior. So all types of bodies, all these things, Paraspararthatvat, because they all depend on one another. Paraspararthatvat, we depend on nature, nature depends on us, we depend on so many things. So similarly, the whole nature, we see that interdependence. Paraspararthatvat, ityevam navakarana. So in this way, there are only 9 karanas which are told in Shastras. So here he is coming to the point. Tanisha yatha sambhavam padarthantareshvapi yojyani. So these karanas, these causes, depending on the situation, yatha sambhavam, depending on the context, yatha sambhavam, depending on the context, padarthantareshvapi yojyani. Yojya means we have to apply. We can apply to various other things also. Not only the examples given here, but you can in the whole world, if you take out all the cause and effect, what is the cause for this? What is the cause for this? So if you see, you can apply the same logic in all places, and all things, they fall under 9 categories only. There are only 9 karanas. There is no 10th karana, 10th type of karana. So Tanisha yatha sambhavam padarthantareshu, in all other aspects also they can be applied. Yoganganushthanam tu, now coming to the point. Now this Yoganganushthanam which is now being told, Dvidhaiva karanatvam labhate. Dvidha eva, in 2 ways only. Karanatvam labhate. It attains that karanatvam. It becomes karana. Karanatvam labhate means it becomes karana in 2 ways. What are those 2 ways he told here? Here you see, Yoganganushthanam viveka kyateha prapti karanam. So prapti karanam, in order to attain it, it becomes the prapti karanam. Then viyoga karanam tadeva ashuddhehe. For that ashuddhi, for getting rid of ashuddhi, it becomes in the context of getting rid of ashuddhi, it becomes the viyoga karanam. So this yoganga anusthana, it becomes the prapti karanam and ashuddhi, viyoga karanam. Prapti karanam for a positive thing, viyoga karanam for a negative thing. So that is it. Now we come to the next sutra, where now this is the much awaited sutra, because when we talk about yoga, Ashtanga yoga, etc., Ashtanga yoga, what are the 8 limbs? So now for the first time he is coming out with that. Because as I said, in the beginning, he talked about all the theoretical aspect. But the theoretical aspect is not enough. Mere theory does not make a man enlightened. Theory along with that inner change. So now for that inner change, he has come in that 27th, 28th sutras also, 28th, 29th. So this 29th sutra, he is explaining all these 8 limbs. For 5 more minutes, so I can read the, what is this sutra. Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhayo, Ashtavangani. So that is it. Samadhayo, Ashtavangani. That is the sutra. So most of these words we know. Yama, yamayati, yama dhatu, yamudu, Lord Yama. What does he do? He is the man who is the controller. Yamayati, yamaha. Then niyama. Niyama also is nishayena. Not only yama is, it may be some sort of forcible control. Niyama is something nishchay completely. You are willfully accepting it. You are willfully and mentally also. That is the reason why yama is dealing with external behavior. Yama is I am not abusing somebody, which means I am controlling my tongue. I am not beating somebody, so which means I am controlling my body. So like that trikarana control. So that is what is yama. All things which we see this in Gita also. So this yama, niyama is inner control. That is even with the mind, I don't have any sort of ill will to anybody. Suppose I may be having some ill will, but I don't beat him. But niyama, when it comes to niyama, my mind has become pure that I don't get angry also. So asana. So first thing, you see, these are all the various gradual steps. So without this gradual discipline, a person cannot evolve. Of course, certain things can be practiced simultaneously also. While practicing yama, you can also practice pranayama. While practicing yama, you can also practice pratyahara or dharana, slowly and slowly. But these are actually steps, gradual steps. So unless the first step is achieved, the next step becomes meaningless. Suppose you are able to do dharana very well. So you can be a better criminal. A person can be a very good criminal because he is focusing, and then in a focused manner he concentrates on a thing and then does things. So that is not of any use for this realization, self-realization. So yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, they have to be there. So that is the reason why we can call them steps. And also, though they can be practiced simultaneously, the first step has to be necessarily achieved. So that is the point. Though you may have one leg on the first step, but first step has to be necessarily achieved. So yama, niyama, asana. Asana is having a proper posture. Pranayama, restraint of breath. Pratyahara, withdrawal from external objects. Dharana is focusing. Dhyana is meditation. Samadhi. Samadhi is that final stage where the mind is in Samyak adhiyate manaha. So the mind is totally absorbed in the object of meditation. So that is what is Ashtau Angani. So we'll see it in the next class. If there are any questions, let us see.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, if there are no questions, we can close.
Yeah, there are no questions today also.
Okay, right.
We'll meet in the next class.
Okay. Hari Om Tat Sat.